Hello and welcome back, folks, to the European Challenger Cup. Unfortunately, we couldn't bring you the remainder of that match, but I can tell you there was 17 seconds left in it. Agilitas went ahead and took the game due to an F6, so surrender coming out. And that was the conclusion of that one. So Agilitas will be moving on. Well fought from the other team, but they will have to come back next week. Keld will be putting out the bans thus far. Geb and Odin banned out. Disco Ninjaz, previously Heroes and Zeros, gonna ban Mercury.
Yeah, apparently this team name is pronounced Caledfwich. We'll be going with that. That's what they told me, and I asked because I had no idea. So yeah, Geb and Odin banned away from Caledfwich. Arachne and Mercury banned away by Disco Ninjaz. Mercury banned for sure. I like the Odin ban. I think Odin can be very impactful, especially in the mid game. I'm still not sold on this Arachne ban. I haven't seen her be particularly effective. That said, she also has sort of gone through in matches that I think were a little bit more favored towards a single team.
I would definitely say so. It's single teams, and some teams prioritize the Arachne over others. It's an interesting setup. So it requires a lot of thought process because the old adage, don't fight the bug, 1v1 Arachne is still the premier player,
Yeah.
but you have to really get into those 1v1 scenarios. Caledfwich is going to go ahead and pick Apollo, #1 overall. We used to see a lot of this, Kret, where Apollo was picked #1 over everything. These days, it's fallen a little out of style for the supports. We see a lot more Geb and Athena choices. If your support is comfortable with either Geb or Athena, or, God forbid, a tertiary pick, I actually don't mind the Apollo first pick, as odd as it might seem.
But here's the thing. Caledfwich banned out Geb, which means that Athena is left on the board. Disco Ninjas don't ban out Athena.
Right.
And they still first pick Apollo. So maybe they're just banning out Geb because they don't want to deal with Geb. They don't like playing against it. They don't like playing with it, which is fine.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
And me too. But the standard play is ban out Geb, pick Athena.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see that. Now, that said, Qin, I believe the team captain of this team is a practice support player. He did play at the launch tournament for Team Coast Blue, which is different from the current Team Coast. Honestly, I mean, for someone who was pulled in like 2 weeks prior, he didn't do too poorly. So the team overall had some problems. Ymir going to be banned away by Disco Ninjas. So they're banning away what they hope is the third string jungler or third string support from Caledfwich.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a choice here. I think if Caledfwich has a player that is very good at those tertiary picks, think Auror, character that plays support but plays more assassin supports. Think Incontinentia, somebody that likes to prefer the warrior side of things. The Geb can be a good choice because it prevents a lot of the shield, a lot of the removal of the CC. We're going to see another Kali today, Kret. Something very interesting that we've seen twice today already.
Yeah, now, I think looking at it, I don't know if they do have any information to know it's the Ymir. I just did some quick little searching of recent matches and couldn't find any record for Caledfwich. But maybe Disco Ninjas just don't like dealing with that Ymir. And with the Kali pickup, I kind of feel that. I mean, Kali, you want to dive as freely as possible, and given the composition that Caledfwich has drafted, I think it's a pretty good one to go up against with that Kali. Now, another thing we do want to mention is subbing in for Disco Ninjas today is Zop QQQ, a very strong European player and a streamer. He is really popular. He is really good, but he also is sort of a player that doesn't like playing competitively. He'll ring, but he hasn't signed on to a competitive team, and he would get one. Like, if he wanted to, he would be in the Pro League. Guaranteed.
Really?
Yeah, really? Totally. Yeah. So, I mean, he'd be on some team. Like, someone would pick him up. Maybe it's Coast. Maybe it's, someone else who's been having difficulties. I believe he's multi-role. He's playing ADC in this game, so... And honestly, when the game gets a little bit bigger, sort of like Optics, I wouldn't be surprised if he showed up on a team eventually. Because Optics was very much in the same position in that he didn't want to play competitively until he was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. and now he's doing really well.
Very, very true. Zindern used to play for Coast, as you mentioned, or Zindern used to play for Agilitas, the number one seed overall here, and he's made the transition to the SPL. He subbed in for Team Coast this past week in the jungle role. We'll see how that goes going forward. Don't know if he's going to be in for the next week or if it was just temporary situation. So maybe we'll see the same thing coming out of Zop. As you mentioned, we saw it coming out of Optics. So who knows? Maybe we'll just see the transition of a lot of these players coming in to the professional scene. This is the European Challenger Cup, and this is a direct way for teams, not individuals, to make it there themselves. Disco Ninjaz, previously called Upcoming Stars, up against Caledfwich. We'll see you after the break. Hello and welcome to our third match of the day. Caledfwich versus Disco Ninjaz, previously known as the Upcoming Stars. Kewin and friends, nonetheless, will be making up the Chaos side in red. It'll be Kewin and Hyperion making that long lane, or Kewin and Zop making up the long lane on Athena and Ram. The jungle will be held down by Latest on Kali, and then mid and solo will be split between Voden BK and Hyperion on Ra and Freya.
On the other side, we're going to have Caledfwich. Thor in the jungle, played by Balder92, Blackwatch 1993 on your mid lane Kukulkan, and playing ADC, Lord Anubis 92. The anime names for Caledfwich will be Zero Nasaki as your support Sun Wukong, and Nero Valerius as your solo lane Zhang Kui. I do want to mention this Kali is, looks like he's going to be a jungle Kali going to Frostbound start, or Heavy Hammer start, which is interesting, because Kali's early game is bad, and generally you see a Frostbound that takes a character with a pretty good or a very strong early game and leverage that, making it a little bit better. I don't know if this will actually cover the weaknesses for latest on Kali.
I really don't think it will. I do like the Heavy Hammer pickup here.
Well, and actually the other thing, right,
yes.
We know Kali hits more often than the characters. You get 50% more auto attacks. That doesn't translate into more damage when it comes to physical power, but when it comes to proc effects, such as the 10 true damage on Bumba's Mask, it's actually a net increase. So he's giving up an extra 50% damage on that. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, I think Bumba's Mask is the correct way to go. That said, Kewin already doing work in the left-hand lane. No help with the Kali, but so
yeah.
What I like here on the Kali is the Heavy Hammer pickup in a Hierarchian sort of sense. Hierarch, of course, jungle 14.
Cloud9.
Cloud9.
Yep, got you.
He
was on Coast, and that's what you were thinking.
That's exactly what
totally
I was thinking. But Coast has changed a little bit. Hierarch tends to build items a little later than most people think should happen. Mark of the Vanguard, most notably. Heavy Hammer picked third or fourth. Third item is one of his trademarks, and I actually really like it on Kali. Left-hand side, a lot of damage coming out. Zeron taking a lot of damage, and that'll be a dead Sun Wukong level 2. Zop QQ picks up first blood.
Lord Anubis is forced to dash away, sitting at only 100 health. Because he's so low, this is basically a guaranteed invade. Blue buff is up. Speed buff is what they're going for, and with the help of the rotating Disco Ninjaz, Vote and BK, and Latest, a nice little ninja clan tag. Did they really get... no, they have an accent over the I. Okay. They didn't actually get ninja. But blue buff is up, and it will be invaded on too, so 2 buffs stolen away already from Caledfwich, and this is looking like it's going to be a snowball. I mean, Disco Ninjaz have everything they need to just control this game from minute 1 to all the way to the end.
Kali invading not just buffs, but also back camps. We'll see Kali hog and pick up this left-hand safe camp. Kali's going to rotate over towards middle lane where Thor has rotated here, looking both ways before he crosses the street. And another kill in the solo lane. Going Disco Ninjaz.
Zhang Kui out of position. I mean, he died up where the archers are now, so like past the halfway point. Getting taken down there, and when you're level 3 against a level 4 Freya, now level 5, it's probably a bad idea. The thing about Freya is she's bad at laning. Like, she's bad at clearing creeps, but she's still going to be good at killing you, so just a little bit out of position, Caledfwich. Gonna be dropping 2 players, and now we're rolling on the left-hand side. Zop is going for blood with the Astral Arrows. Will get knocked up, lands in the tower, going up into the air. 1 hit, gets the second one. Nice play there. In the jungle, Baldur is gonna have a decent angle, does find the wall, but it's going to... Ewan just able to slide right underneath that one and get out. In the middle lane, Valkyrie's Discretion come out. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3rd hit. Blackwatch 1993 is going back to the base. Forcedly.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your left tower
Mid-cam spawning here at the 3rd minute of our game. Going to be split amongst Disco Ninjas. Right's already down. Left's Qin will be here to get experience for them, so that'll work out to the team's favor as well. Collapsing on this Zhonghui one more time.
Yeah.
Hyperion already level 7, Zhonghui only level 4. Smells something. No ward, so couldn't quite see it.
No, he does have a ward.
Oh, he does have a ward. Does have a ward. Kali was standing on top of it, so able to see that before it came, and probably could feel it as well as those right cams went down, knowing that there's somebody on the right side of the map. Just needs to play it safe. But as we mentioned, 3 levels, 2.5 levels separating these 2 solo laners. That is a very large margin.
That was the most disgusting caster's curse I've ever seen. You literally said 3 levels as he hit level 5. But yeah, I mean, what it comes down to is Nero has to play very passively. He actually has lower clear than his lane opponent. So like even positioning out this far is setting him up for
great ultimate in the middle lane coming out from both Ra and Kukulkan. Zop's gonna get the kill solo in the left hand side while the rest of his team takes down 2 in the middle lane. Kukulkan dies to the Kali, or kills the Kali as well. Destruction did fall, and tower does take the kill. So that'll be 1 kill on the way of Caledfwich. 1-7, 4.5 minutes in.
Unfortunately, Kali did die there, not finding the target, and that's sort of the downside in Kali, in that, honestly, you're not guaranteed to get your target, even when you're playing with people on comms who are professional or competitive level players. You're not guaranteed to get your target. DOTs, abilities, jukes, etc. It all happens. So making plays reliant on getting those targets, where it's like, either I get my target and I live, or I die, you have to accept the fact that there's a good chance you'll die. In the right-hand side, Recall Demons coming out. Hyperion doing good damage. Nice Valkyrie's Discretion. Very well timed. Will avoid the double tap and the stun, but landing in a Berserker's Barrage, which looks like he's leveling the hammer. Now with the help of those so many archers and a big rotation, turning around, Baldur 92 is in trouble. But here comes Kukulkan. Can he turn around the damage onto Hyperion? Snipe. Blackwatch taken down by the DOT from Lash.
Vote NBK gonna jump his way back into the middle lane. Looks like Disco Ninjas want to push onto the solo tower. Only a level 6 though to really stop this level 8 Kali. This could be a fight Kali will take. Gets the stun, gonna jump out. So doesn't really want to take this. You can tell that Thor is clearly not her target. The target right now is the tower. Stun, not gonna do much. Is gonna deter Kali for the moment, but just for the time being, I would say.
I mean, the thing is, Kali actually does have more burst than you might expect. Another double invade on the left-hand side. Speed to blue will spawn on a timer that Disco Ninjas has access to, and they'll be invading it as it comes up. Now looking for Xeron, not able to find the taunt. Would have potentially been able to interrupt that bird, but Qin went for the shield wall first, got greedy on damage, and didn't end up getting the kill at all. And also there was a Sun Wukong that's not available, so it was not likely. The other thing I want to mention, this Sun Wukong starting Frostbound, or Heavy Hammer, I keep saying Frostbound, Heavy Hammer. Heavy Hammer can be very strong. When you don't get a lane advantage, First Blood, and Invade, etc. out of it, you're just in trouble.
Hyperion gonna put our Zhonghui in more trouble, picking up another kill, turning on to Kukulkan now. Good banish, ticking down with these basics. Just nearly dodge that ultimate. Here comes Sun Wukong, trying to provide a little bit of pressure for his team. And Hyperion gonna be forced out just a little bit while she waits for those steroids to come back up. Pulse should just push the wave, and once again, Hyperion is on the lip of his enemy's tower. And Gold Fury falls down at the 7-minute mark. So many things happening for Disco Ninjas just yet. 6,300 gold is the final is the current total of the lead.
Yeah, so that was a good play. The support rotated to the right-hand side, and now the support's in trouble. Will be forced into that onto the cloud, healing up, and a level 6 Sun Wukong absolutely cannot contest a level 11 Freya. Hyperion is at the point where he is, no one can 1v1 him. That's really, really good.
Your right
Understatement
tower
of the
is
day,
under
perhaps?
attack.
Yeah, you know, going for the least or most understated thing for the day with that comment.
Hyperion getting surrounded right now. Don't really think he minds. Lift up on Zhang Kui. Here's a Thor. You know, this combination, despite there being a level 11 advantage, this combination of characters could prove hazardous to Hyperion's health. Kukulkan not even going to rotate, as Hyperion has just intimidated Caledfwich out of the situation already.
Yeah, now trying to set up that 1v2. Thor going up in the air. Hyperion will receive the Dependent Olympus, and now it's not going to be a uneven fight. Nice handle of Dawn's appeal, but Baldur could be in trouble. The burst, and will be getting out, but not for long because the Lash finds the kill. It is finally getting a target as well. We'll be able to heal back up. Still taking the tower. We'll end up resetting. That one, the burst from Kali is actually fairly substantial. Spirit of the Nine Winds coming through, but will not connect, so Blackwatch not able to find that one. Now in a bit of a tough spot as Kali destroys Sun Wukong. Taunt back into the shield wall. More Kali, more death. Latest picking up a double, and now sending 6-1-1. I think it's safe to say Kali has made it over her early game hump, because when you're this fed, it doesn't matter how weak your early game typically is. You're just strong enough, and Lash is a very hard-hitting ability when you connect with all three blades. It actually does like 400 damage.
And this is pretty much the conditional that we talk about every single time we see gods like Kali picked up, is if Kali can get ahead, the game will quickly spiral out of control. Well, Kali got ahead, and right now Caledfwich is sitting behind about 9,000 gold. So pretty much the hyper carry really coming out and proving that the title is accurate. Coming over that hump, how did we initially get here? How did we wind up in this predicament, Kret?
Well, in the duo lane, there's a lot of pressure that came out. Some missteps from Sun Wukong, and that put him in a bad spot and allowed lane control to go to Disco Ninjaz. In the solo lane, same thing. Zhang Kui stood in a bad position in the middle lane. Vote NBK getting very low. Spirit Tempest will come out, but isn't going to connect. Now Thor up in the air. Will not be able to hit. That's just a little bit too fast on that Raw, going to Valkyrie's discretion. Taunt comes out as Latest gets actually a snipe with the Lash. Very, very nicely played. Mid tower going to go down as well. Yeah, Lash does 375 base damage. That's a lot.
That is a lot of damage. When you're behind like this, Kret, one of the big things you want to do is you want to milk numbers advantage. You only really want to fight when you're 3v2, 4v3, 5v4, even 6v5, that sixth player being a structure like a tower. That was an unfortunate misplay coming out from Caledfwich by ulting in the middle of that lane. Disco Ninjas really needed to, or Caledfwich needed to really relish the fact that they're under a tower. Towers do damage. Towers can hurt. And that's really what they need to look for.
Look at this Kali positioning. He wants to jump the wall and go aggressive. There is jumping in, looking for some Wukong, but can't find the stun. Someone who's CC immune will have tower go and forced to back off. Ram up in the air. Lands a good hit onto Zhang Kui, but not enough to get the kill. Apollo is circling, but he's going to have to come down eventually and will just land under the tower. Kali not able to make that dive work. Going for a red buff, will drop it and jump out, leaving the buff on the ground. Disco Ninjas have temporarily stopped their assault, stopped their onslaught, but they're up 11,000 gold and 19,000 experience.
And that fight is exactly what we just highlighted. Caledfwich is down 19,000 experience, 18,000 experience, like you said, Kret, and they were still able to fend off an assault from Disco Ninjas because they had the protection of the tower. That's really what teams need to look for if they're behind this much, and it worked out for Caledfwich in that respect. The next step in this regard, in playing from behind, is to look for the objective steals. Objective steals, whether or not you steal the objective or you steal the fight after the objective has been killed, is very important. Gold Fury will be spawning right now. Taking a look at Caledfwich, there is a Hog 3 on deck, so Zero needs to start thinking about coming over here and stealing the objective for his team.
Well, Gold Fury has been started, and it should go to Zop, no problem. Snipe from actually the red buff. So Vote NBK takes the red buff and is like, hey, they're doing Gold Fury, let me just snipe and help out. that's going to be down. Zop getting turned on, but the problem when you go on Rom is he's able to basically banish himself. We'll be waiting for that tornado to despawn. Is going to land in it, unfortunately. Damage on the Zero Nasaki on that Sun Wukong. Nice jukes, but he's not Shadow Q. He is going to get taken down eventually. Fire Giant is really something that Disco Ninjas are thinking about now.
Yeah, they can definitely go ahead and take the Fire Giant at this point. Balder92 going to go up in the air. That Thor skin recently has just gotten a new voice pack coming out in... Well, that's not the heavy metal one. Well, the heavy metal Thor skin will actually get a new voice pack in the next patch. No new skins for Thor on the horizon. Definitely no new skins for Loki on the horizon. I think we won't be seeing any Loki skins anytime soon. Fire Giant has been going down, and this is a fight that Caledfwich might want to think about, but with Apollo in the left-hand lane, definitely not. Instead, they want to get out of here as quickly as possible and allow Apollo to split push, but instead it just looks like they're taking too much damage. Nero's going to die underneath the tower, and Balder, the only one alive for his team, is going to get pincered. There's the shield wall and a whole bunch, and Vote NBK is the one with the kill.
Yeah, now the mid tower is gonna go down as well. And the question is, what's the call going to be out from Disco Ninjas? Looks like they want that middle Phoenix, and they do have really substantial auto attack damage, so this Phoenix is going to go down. Shredded! I have seen teams take that take longer to take that one much later in the game, so a lot of damage coming out from the Disco Ninjas. Rom ult will not quite connect the way it wants to. And now it looks like the call, and this is a mistake actually. They're going to go for right lane tower and right lane Phoenix, but left lane tower and left lane Phoenix would apply more pressure, and there is no reason they should have, like, there's no extra reason to pick this lane. I guess the minion wave was closer, but they could have tanked the Phoenix.
Yeah, the thought process was definitely the minion wave. That's what they looked for, and that's what they're going to go for. As Kret highlighted, though, the Phoenixes are a little more important on the other side of the Fire Giant. That said, Disco Ninjas does have a dominating lead, 18,500 gold up. Much more with that Phoenix, and honestly, just with the sheer numbers on this team, Kret, I think we could see a successful Titan push right now.
Oh, that's a three-man taunt coming out. Nice follow-up, Sun. Spirit of the Nine Winds coming through, and will knock back Qin. Thor's up in the air as Sun Wukong returns to the fountain, but taken down by Zop. Nice and quick in the backline. Thor wants the Athena, but Balder92 doesn't have quite enough damage. Qin coming in from the sky, and the Titan is going to be the target. And it looks like Disco Ninjas are going to be moving on to the round of 4, 30-1, 15 minutes and 30 seconds in. That's a hell of a game.
There was no hell in that game.
But we saw one yesterday, so it's fine. That's enough hell for a whole week. That's enough hell for the entire Challengers Cup.
Very true. The hell yesterday was pretty dominant, but this game was all about the other unconventional under-chosen pick, Kalima. Latest played out of his mind. A large part of the reason of this victory. There was success all around the board, I guess we could say, but Kali definitely overcame the hump, and right here, all we see on Kali is the core build. Pen boots and chin size. That's all she needs.
Yeah, it really is. Heavy Hammer helped a lot too. It didn't hurt at all. Disco Ninjas are looking pretty good, and it looks like they'll be moving on to the semifinals to face off against Potato Boys. We'll be following them and checking out that match. Will the Potato Boys be able to spud their way to victory, or are Disco Ninjas' dance moves going to be too good? Stay tuned, guys.